Hello everybody, it's Amy from Winterwood Studio and welcome to my little art studio. It is a rainy, somewhat gloomy, but finally spring day here, so I'll take what I can get. I thought today would be a good day to have a little chat. I've been doing a ton of art lately. I've been making a ton of art and just filming it all. I've been feeling really creative and really inspired, and I've been doing stuff almost every day. And I think, as you know, I've been trying to figure out what I like for art. I got kind of screwed up. I was a recovering people pleaser, and I was making art for other people and not for myself. And that's definitely, I've been really the last like 2 or 3 months really been trying to dig in and figure out what do I like, what do I want to do, how do I want to express myself. So we'll be talking about that sort of stuff today. One of the biggest changes that I've made is following the flow and the natural cycles of my creativity and my art. And it's made a huge difference. So that's definitely something that I want to talk about today, and how I'm doing that and how maybe you can do that and implement that into your work. And of course, we'll have a ton of art to look at. So grab yourself something nice to drink. Even though it's kind of spring here, I'm going to go make myself a nice cup of steaming hot pumpkin chai because I love it, even if it's spring. And I will meet you back here and we will have a nice little chat and enjoy some time in my art studio making art. My dog's rolling around on the carpet in the living room. Hopefully the microphone's not picking that up. So I'm going to start this week's video by talking a little bit about going with the flow of creativity and art, and working with the cycles and the changes. Is that what I want to say? The cycles. There's definitely a natural cycle for me with my creativity and my art. And I used to not pay attention to it and just make what I thought I should be making when I thought I should be making it. And I think partly that might have led to my really, really big art block, which was, I don't know if that was ended last summer or the summer before. But I've really been trying to pay attention to what I want to do and when I want to do it. And I'm definitely starting to notice some patterns. So first of all, I like to work like painting on canvas, whether it's acrylic or oil, for about 4 to 6 months. And then I like to switch to mixed media on paper for about 4 to 6 months. And it's not like a set time frame, but I have definitely noticed I do it for a certain amount of time, and then I want to switch to the other, and then I want to switch back. And before, I wouldn't let myself do that. I would try to just power through and keep doing what I thought I should be doing for the channel, or because people told me a certain thing was good and a certain thing wasn't. And that definitely contributes to feelings of burnout and stress and art block for me. So I have for sure some sort of natural cycle where I alternate a few months doing one thing and a few months doing another. I have not yet figured out if it's seasonal. It kind of seems like it might be. It kind of seems like I like to work on canvas with acrylic and oils and do more like fine art and landscapes and stuff like that during the winter months. And about the time spring rolls around, it seems like I want to do more fun, lighthearted, loose, illustrative type style, mixed media with all the supplies on paper. I'm not ready to like put a pin in it and say for sure that that's what's going on for me, but I'm starting to suspect that is. And actually having this YouTube channel has helped, because I've been going back and like looking at some of the covers and what I was talking about and what videos I put up when, and I feel like I'm seeing that pattern. So that's going to be really interesting to pay attention to over the next year or two. Something else I started, and I just started this last week, was this little, it's like a bullet journal, and I called it my art process, thoughts and records, and I haven't been keeping up with it real well. At first I was thinking I was just going to do like the fine art type stuff in it, but then I started thinking about the cycles and what I'm doing, and I probably am going to want to like take photos of like sketchbook stuff and put it in. But you may have seen, I don't know if I showed it on here. I definitely talked about it over on Instagram. I did this. I had this craving to do soft pastels, which I haven't done for almost a full year because of a health scare. There's a video up about it. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. And I just wanted to for like 3-4 days in a row. And finally I got out some UArt sanded paper and I did this daffodil. Let's see if I can, without some glare. If you want to see it better, you might want to just go over to my Instagram. I'll link it down below. And I did not enjoy it as much as I used to think that I did. And that made me think like I should start keeping records. So that's what I did. And I'm gonna do some of I've done a ton of stuff. It's all been mostly sketchbook, although there was one finished big illustration. And like I said, I need to take some photos and print them out and put them in here. I didn't want to waste printer paper, so I feel like I want to have several little photos to print out all at once and then do it in here, but I feel like that also might end up with me not doing it because I feel like it'll be too overwhelming when I have like 10 that I have to write down and write notes for, and plus if I wait till I have 10 I might forget what I was thinking about them. I don't know. I've got to figure out the system still. I don't have it down yet. But I think that'll help me keep track too of what I want to do. I think I go through these periods where I like working like the mixed media on paper, and then I start to crave like the texture of like acrylic, especially on canvas. So I'm not sure what's going on with that yet. I'm still figuring that out, but I definitely am in an illustration mixed media phase right now. And I have been working more illustrative, like children's book illustration type, editorial illustration type, and less realistic. And like I said, I will do that for a while, but then I'll want to switch over. So I'm paying attention to that and when I want to switch and how many projects I can do in a cycle before I have to switch. And I think that's something I'm going to have to flow with in the future. I need to cut my hair. It's the perfect right length to poke me in the mouth. I also picked the word of the year for this year for me was flow. And I go back and forth on sometimes I'm pretty good at trying to stay with that word and sometimes I end up kind of screwed up. But I've been really trying to flow with what I feel inspired and called to do each day, and what feels exciting and what I'm thinking about like the night before, which has helped a lot. And then the third thing that I've done that has really changed things for me is as I'm getting away from being super realistic and trying to like make sure like everything looks super, super real, I've been trying to draw and paint without references, which is something that I haven't really done consistently because I'm always trying to get like the super realistic animal or, you know, the super realistic landscape. And it feels really freeing to like imagine something in my head and then translate it to paper. It makes me feel really excited about art in a way that working from sorry, I have a little bit of a scratchy throat. In a way that working from reference photos or even outside from references, although that's less stiff for me. And I think that's because like things are moving and changing and the light is changing. There might be a wind and it's not quite the same as like working from a reference photo I might have taken. But it feels very, very freeing and much more enjoyable to me than trying to get all the details. I think maybe when I'm doing like working from a reference photo, I get sucked into the details and like really trying to make all the details match and everything. And I always say I'm not going to do it. And then I end up doing it anyway. And working from something in my brain, there's just not that level of detail there. And it's really enjoyable for me. So those are the three really big changes that I've implemented this year so far in 2025, and they have really helped my work. Maybe I should have titled this video something else. Maybe I should have said the three changes I've done this year to make my creativity explode. I don't know. We'll see what I keep it with. But that was the what I wanted to talk about as far as those things. And I think it's time to move on and go make some art. I'm just popping in to do a little shameless plug for my Patreon. There's only one tier. It's only $5. And I wanted to, there's a hummingbird right outside the window. I have to clean the hummingbird feeder and put it up. I just wanted to say, like, there's a lot more studio vlogs over there and a lot more like playing with art materials and real-time stuff and how I actually create art and tutorials and stuff like that. It's only one tier. It's only $5. There's a Art Angels tier, I called it, where you can donate 10 if you want to help out a little bit more. But those patrons over there, a huge thank you to them. They're really what's helping keep these videos free and not have a membership here or whatever that I make people be a part of. So a huge thank you to my Patreons. And if you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And even the ones, even you guys who aren't Patreons, if you can't afford it, that's fine. Watching my videos helps support my channel. Leaving a comment, clicking like or subscribe. Those are all free ways you can help support my channel. And they all mean the world to me. And they really do help. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And now back to the art. So I'm just testing out this paper and I realized I should probably be recording. I did this quick sketch in this sketchbook and I'm getting an order ready for Blick and I am very low on paper. This is the Fabriano Studio Hot Press 9x12 and I'm wondering if I should order the larger size. I wanted to see how it held up to mixed media painting. So I am just doing really quick. This isn't for anything other than to strictly test and see if it would hold up to some mixed media stuff. So this is really just a fun mess around with paint on paper. And I didn't tape it down. I know it's going to buckle a little because I've used this quite a bit for like wash. But I wanted to see how it would handle stuff. I meant to put those way down here. This is the Fabriano Studio Hot Press 9x12, and I wanted to check and see, I didn't even tape this down, I wanted to check and see how it would handle materials for mixed media painting, because quite honestly, when I'm doing mixed media, I prefer my paper to have a smoother texture. So this is really crap paper. This is the Moleskine. Oh, I did this weekend too, and that. This is the Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, and I absolutely hate it. I'm trying to fill it up to use it, but I absolutely hate it. And you can see it's very textured. It's a cold press paper, but it is kind of a weird cold press. It almost reminds me of like the Canson cheap pastel honeycomb paper. But it's thick and it handles some stuff okay. But quite honestly, for mixed media, I prefer a smoother paper. So it was Mother's Day this weekend, and I got several Blick gift cards for Mother's Day. So I'm going to be probably having like a dream summer art haul coming up. And I know there's going to be a lot of different papers in it because I am going through a very paper heavy phase right now. This is my Canson mixed media sketchbook. Now the weight on this is 98 pounds, and this is 140. It's like regular weight watercolor, but I better double check. I think it is. Okay, so it is 140. And you can see this pad is almost gone. This is the 9x12. The biggest size I think this comes in is 11x14. However, this paper comes all the way up to like 22x30. You can get it in pads at 22x30 and spiral bound up to 18x24. And it is a nice texture. This is even, I mean, it is hot press, but this is very smooth. And so maybe I like a little bit more texture than this. So this is the Canson mixed media, and like I said, it's lighter weight, but I want to see how it handles things this week. Both Pan Pastel and, boy, it just got really dark in here. Let's see if we can turn on a light. Both Pan Pastel and maybe some acrylic ink. I don't know. This is pretty wet. I don't know how it would handle that. But for sure gouache and Pan Pastel, and maybe some watercolors. The other option for a smoother paper, they have this Canson Graduate mixed media paper now. Now, I don't know. So this says it's 120 pounds. And this doesn't come in as big sizes as the Canson mixed media. It does not feel, I don't understand it. It feels, I mean, to me, this feels thicker than that. So, I don't know. No, I guess it does feel a tiny bit thicker, but I wouldn't say maybe, I don't know. We'll test them both. I picked this up. This was at Walmart. It was very cheap. This is very cheap. Even cheaper than this. So I think the 11x14 pad of this for like 20 or 30 sheets is like $7 and something. The 11x14 for 12 sheets in this is like 18 maybe. And then if you want to get 50, this is a 50, it's more like 30. So this option is very, very cheap. But I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, so we'll have to try it and see. And also it doesn't come in big sizes. So I'm kind of hoping that I like this because I want a lot of paper for not a lot of money that I'm happy with. But that isn't like the break the bank expensive because, what is this spot right here? Is this in the thing or is it a shadow? So I thought I would just pop this in here too. This is me testing some acrylic ink and acrylic ink mixes I made just to see how they react if you drop them into wet water. Again, this paper is crap. I'm clearly going to need to redo this exercise on some good paper or at least decent paper, but I have almost no experience with acrylic ink, so I thought I would try it on here. I'm starting to wonder if this sketchbook, if I maybe didn't just get a bad one, like with no sizing, because it's so bad. I didn't record, I was just doodling with the ink on the opposite page with like the sun and ocean stylized there, and I didn't record it, but I would, you know, wet the brush with the ink or a mixture of ink and water, and then go to fill in the lines, and it was dry almost immediately. Like within seconds, it was soaked into the paper and dry. I have not played enough with the acrylic ink yet to know if that's the case with all papers, although I have played with it on heavily gessoed canvas and it stayed wet for hours. So I'm not sure what's going on here. If anybody knows, please leave it in the comments. Is it just my paper, or is that how acrylic inks work? I don't know. So yeah, like minutes of dry time. That's why it looks so blotchy and uneven, because I'd go around the outside edges of like the purple rays and then go to fill it in, and the edges were, the outline that I had already done was already dry, so there was a hard line where the two met, or it was blotchy, or I tried to scrub it out. So yeah. Otherwise, I'm really enjoying the acrylic inks in general, and I've already put in an order for more. I was talking about that whole Blick gift card situation I've got going on. There was so much stuff that I think I'm going to divide it up for sure, at least into 2 videos, but maybe 3. Probably 3. So we'll do like maybe one a month for the next 3 months or something. I'm definitely going to have to do a no-buy now for a while. I did do a little bit of doom shopping or whatever because I was worried prices were going to go up, and I knew there was a bunch of stuff I needed and a bunch of stuff I wanted to try, and I just wanted to get my order in before prices went up, and I'm glad I did. One of the things I bought was a Moleskine sketchbook, the art one, because I feel like it holds up to wet media a little bit better than the Royal Talons, and they're normally $18, and I bought it. And then this week I went back to look, and because I was thinking about getting a second one just in case, and the price was already up to $26 here. So I'm super glad I got one at least. I should have maybe got 2. Anyway, I'm going to go back and talk a little bit more about experiments I've been doing. Okay, so it is Monday, and Monday morning, excuse the mess, you can't even see, but my desk is strewn with stuff. I had a very busy weekend. We had my son's birthday party and the family was here, but in between I did manage to get a little bit of art done. I don't think I did very much. I was testing. I wanted to play with my pan pastels. I did a soft pastel drawing on, I think it was Friday, and I'll pop a picture up. I didn't enjoy it as much as I used to. But I started thinking about my pan pastels and how they're not as dusty, and how you use tools, and how I think these are all, maybe totally safe. They may have cadmiums in them, but I feel like I remember that they don't. So that would take that worry out for me. And I just was like literally just dusted some on this first page and drew a quick sketch. So the video cut out there, I'm not sure why. So I decided to pop this in. There's a longer, almost real-time version of this up over on my Patreon if you want to check it out. This is all pan pastels, and I did no pre-planning for this. I just started putting them on the Canson XL paper to see how it handled them, and I just had playtime. And in fact, it's called the Art Playtime video. Or an art playtime video, I guess. I think it's a new thing I might do over on Patreon. I think it'd be fun to do a series like exploring different materials and stuff. Okay, so I hope you liked that video. And like I mentioned before, my Patreon will be linked down below if you want to check it out. A huge thank you again to all my Patreons. And if you haven't hit like or subscribe or left a comment yet, I would love it if you did. Those are free, no-cost ways for you to help support my channel, and it all means so much to me. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. And until next time, happy creating.